I'm back again with another video, and I want to take time to show you two trades that I'm in and then look at another possibility with the Euro US dollar. But we're going to start off with the Aussie yen. This is a daily time frame, and you can see I'm in a trade. I'm in a live trade, 26 pip profit after we had a bounce at this level here. Now, I'm in a trade that's inside the Kumo, okay? So with Ichimoku, you're not really I really don't get into trades that are inside the Kumo because this represents a lot of turbulence, I'll call it, but really the market's ranging pretty much. You don't have a bias while you're in the cloud. You need to get outside of the cloud to have a bearish bias or a bullish bias. Now, I do know traders that do trade inside the cloud, so I don't. And I think that's one of the rules, really, not to trade inside the cloud. You want to be able to see. When you're in the clouds, you can't see. It's just like a pilot flying through the clouds. Pretty much he wants to get above the cloud or below the cloud so he can see what's going on. All right, and that's the same thing with Ichimoku here. But let me show you how I entered this trade first, because I didn't enter the trade using Ichimoku. I entered this trade off of support and resistance. Basically, I saw this level here and I put the support and resistance level in. And I saw this rejection here at this level. Now, I think I had the level pretty much up here where you see the bottoms here. So this is a whole zone. I didn't make the zone on the chart here, but you got a zone of support and resistance from this level basically to this level. And I like to usually color my zones in orange, yellow, so that I can know I'm in a zone. Well, you could see we're in that zone. We're between 94,695 and 94,395. Well, price bounced at that zone. You could see this long rejection here. This is a rejection of this level here. So this let me know that at this level there was either selling pressure, or this is where the bears jumped into the market, okay? Because we had a bullish market here pretty much the last 2 days, and then all of a sudden it seemed like the bears jumped into the market here. So as they got interested, they pushed this price back down. So this level is a level of interest for the bears. Therefore, I seen some bears enter the market, seen the strength of the market to the downside with this rejection, and then I put my entry order in. And then once I put Ichimoku on the chart, I could see what was really happening here. And I really liked what I see. I really like what I see. But there is one thing that we have an issue with. Okay, so we are inside the cloud. We need Ichimoku to get outside of the cloud, because this level here is going to be a strong level of support, this flat bottom here. And if Ichimoku can't break that level, price is going to go back up into the cloud. I want to see this price get outside of the cloud. So this is a daily this is a daily time frame. So you could see here, when you see this line here, this is where this is a nice level of support and resistance. You could see the bounce here. You could see that level. You could see that level here. So this is a nice level of support and resistance. We're already here. So we need to violate this level and close below this level and continue to the downside. Now, I think if we break outside of this cloud, we'll have price eventually reach down to this level, 90.555. I think that's going to be the level that I look at. And just to be a little bit greedy here, I don't want to get, actually, to be a little more generous, I don't want to be too greedy. I'll move it up just to the bases, okay, because I also would call this a zone of support, and that's going to be 90.809. And I like to make support and resistance zones, so I would call this the zone down here. So I trade off of these zones and these levels and look for entries off of these zones here. The zones are pretty strong because you can see we have bottoms here, then we have some wicks here. This is letting me know this is where price was, so you can't discount that where price was. Also, support and resistance is not just a line, it's an area. All right, so yeah, this is what I'm looking at. This is a little sloppy with Ichimoku on here. It looks like it's hard to see for you guys. I usually don't have everything on here, so usually I would take some things off of here. Actually, I have things on here that this 150 EMA is on here. We would remove that. And then I have this, I have my Tengen-sen on here. I don't usually have that on there either. So, but you see we have a TK crossover, and our future is now bearish. Okay, so we have a dark cloud cover over here, and then we have price inside this cloud, but we need to violate this level. That's going to be very important. So this is a daily candle. We have 7 hours to violate and close. Then we will feel a lot more comfortable. All right. I started off with my stop loss up above this level, but I have now since moved it all the way down here to pretty much break even because I'm not giving this trade a chance to bounce off of this level and come back up. Either the trade it works or it doesn't, so I'm not giving it much room now. I'm going to take at least a little bit of profit, not even anything, maybe a few pips here, but I'll give this a chance to try to violate this level. If it wants to come back 25 pips on me, then maybe it doesn't want to violate this level. Therefore, I'm not going to give it that much of a chance. Okay, I can always get into the trade when it closes below the cloud if I get taken out here. All right, so that's one thing with the Aussie yen. All right, so then the euro, New Zealand dollar. This is non-Ichimoku. I wasn't even trading Ichimoku with this trade here. But what I saw here was pretty much you could look at this and see we're pretty much bullish, right? But we started to flatten out here. You can see where price flattened out. We're going straight across the board here. And we hit this zone here. Again, I put my support and resistance zones in. We hit that zone, came back and hit the bottom of this zone. This is another zone I made, support and resistance. So this support zone we bounced off of that level. And then we went back up to the zone again, the resistance zone, and then we went back again. All right, so when I see that zone, that resistance, I want to trade short. I don't want to trade the breakout. I'll wait for price to come back to this level. But what I traded was the breakout of this level. Now it looks like price is trying to retreat back here. I also am not giving this trade a lot of room because this is a euro New Zealand dollar. There's a lot of unrest with the euro right now with the Greece debt crisis going on. So I'm not giving this trade a lot of room either. I want to see it either move or not. Therefore, if it doesn't move, I could get out of it with some kind of profit. All right, but you could see where we hit these two tops here. Now, this is not a double top. You need more space for a double top. This is only a 4 hour candles we're looking at here. I wouldn't even consider this a double top. A double top's pretty much you want to be at the top or the bottom of your chart, pretty much nothing on the left, what you do see here, but you want the time distance is what gives you the double top, double bottom. All right. So what I'm looking at here is now we hit this zone again, and then you could see a massive rejection again. Had a pretty big rejection, and then price. When you see that rejection, that lets you know that maybe this level is going to be rejected. There's a lot of bears coming into the market after we had all bulls here. This is a level where bears decided to get interested. There were no bears throughout here really interested because if they were, they would have been able to change this direction of this market, but they did up here. They were able to push it way back and change the direction. You got a red candle, and then finally you see price break below that level. We got into a trade off of the support and resistance zone. We were at the bottom of the zone, so this is the bottom of the zone here. This is the top of the zone. This made a new high, so I could have moved my zone a little higher, but once it made a new high, I already had my entry order set. My stop loss was up above here. It made a new high, then came back down, triggered me in. Currently, I moved my stop loss almost to pretty much to break even again because, like I said, this euro is pretty unstable right now, so I don't want to really mess around with it. There's news throughout for the euro. You never know what's going to come across the table. But you can see I have divergence here because I'm using the ultimate oscillator. If I have divergence, we're making on the ultimate oscillator, we're making lower highs. And then here we made pretty much a higher highs. So that's bearish divergence. All right. That's showing weakness in this move to the upside. All right, but that doesn't mean that it's going to drop. But I had other signals that let me know that it may drop, so therefore I took the trade. All right, so that's the euro New Zealand dollar, and I'm gonna go to everyone's favorite pair, not mine, the euro US dollar. Where are we? Okay, so euro US dollar. I've been looking at this in a few different ways, and I'm not going to get real deep into this, but based off of, let's take Ichimoku off the chart. Okay, and then we'll go, this is a daily time frame. So what happened here, guys, I'm going to show you what I looked at. Two things. Okay, what I'm putting in here is this zone. Let's go back to the 4 hour really quickly so we could see where we are. And I want to put this level right up to these wicks here. Okay, so this is where we had the market open this past Sunday, and it gapped down. So here on the daily you could see the gap. So what I looked at here, and this is a temporary short thing that I'm looking at. This is where the market closed Friday, and this is where the market opened on Sunday evening. That's a big gap down. But when it gapped down, it filled the gap within 24 hours. This is a massive candle, right? So with seeing that candle, I considered this pretty much a demand zone, right? Because if you gap down, you usually would think that price is going to continue to the downside. So I looked at this and I said this pretty much has to be some serious traders to move this like that, especially after a gap down. And someone knows why that level where it gapped down and was able to push off of that level is very important. So therefore, I looked at a possibility of price moving a little higher. All right. But I think ultimately we're going to see price move to the downside. Now, there's a few things that I'm looking at here. We could either, because we're bouncing off of that level where I just put the zone in, so this is going to be pretty much a demand zone. But if price can violate this level here, because we have this trend line here, you could see a trend line. We have this trend line, and I think if we get to this trend line, there's a few things. We could either bounce off of the trend line and continue to the downside, because I think ultimately that's what we're going to see. But if we don't, we're going to violate this level, and then you'll see price probably reach and move up higher here. Also looking at that, you could see this is an ascending triangle, so prices are being pushed up higher. Usually a lot of times you'll see an ascending triangle break to the upside, but this could be just a little false break because we had that gap down and prices attempt to get back into alignment here. All right, so that's what I'm looking at overall with my analysis. So I want to really see what price does here, because this is very important, this level here, getting above this level up here. And if we see some kind of price action here at this trend line to let us know that maybe price is going to go to the downside, if we even reach that level, then we'll start looking for a short trade, right? Because based off of Ichimoku, it looks like we may see some downside with the euro US dollar. Now Ichimoku's pretty bad to trade right now. Looking at it, you could see on this daily time frame it's flat, so you have a lot of crossovers of the Kijun-sen, and your Kijun-sen is flat and prices are all over that Kijun-sen. So that's a bad market to trade using Ichimoku at this time on the daily time frame. But you can see we're inside that cloud. We pretty much have the bias is mixed, so I'm not really going to make a bias on that daily time frame. So we go to the 4 hour time frame. Let's look at that really quick. And then the 4 hour time frame, we're below the cloud and we're bouncing off of previous week high. Actually, this is previous week's low, this is previous week's high. We're bouncing off of that level along with the Kijun-sen level. So the chart's a little hard to see with all this stuff on here, right? So I like to take stuff off. I don't like to have everything on here when I'm trying to look at my trades. So now with just Ichimoku, we just look at that right there, and you can see this Kijun-sen is holding resistance right now, and so we need to see price violate that level in order for us to take us higher to that trend line we were talking about, or break all that level, this previous week's low, and attempt to attack the top of this zone here of the triangle pattern that I showed you guys. But if we can't get past this Kijun-sen, then we're going to look for more downside, and then a violation of this area here will take us pretty much down to the level here. We'll start looking at where we want to look at the market falling overall. And I like to put this on the daily time frame to look at that, so 4 hours I don't look at. So we'll go to the daily, and then overall if we do violate, and you can see we're pretty close there, so we might call this level the next level where the market may drop down to, and I'll make this a zone as I always do using the wicks. We make that a zone, so that's going to be your next support zone. You probably have some minor support up in this area. Actually, this is the bottom of the cloud here, so that's going to be a little support zone here. You could see where we are here. Let's put a line there to represent that. So you could see this pretty much lines up with the bottom of the cloud there. So if we put that right on the cloud, because that flat bottom cloud is going to be support, and you can see where it lines up with these candles. It was resistance here and resistance back here. So the bottom of that cloud, that's going to be a level where you want to see if price can violate that level. And also that bottom of that cloud lines up where I said it was pretty much a demand zone here. All right. So that's what we're looking at. You can see again, 4 hour time frame, everything's flat. That's daily here. Let's go to 4 hour. 4 hours moving a little better, but it's still a big zone. But right now, currently, we're flat. You can see we're flat because price from here went up to here and went back to here. We haven't moved too much further between that time. All right, we had a nice rise, then a drop back down, and now currently we're just sitting pretty still. So you can see how flat we are. So that's what you're looking at with Ichimoku, the Euro US dollar. Um, I haven't been putting out a real lot of videos because I've been so tied up. I like to try to get these trades out to you guys before they happen, but I have so many other things that tend to with members trying to get videos out to them and trade alerts out to them to let them know what's going on, but it gets hectic, so I don't get to put these out on time, and you guys miss some of these trades that I'm talking about. But hopefully I could get some of these live trades set up and going for you. All right, if you want to check me out, you know where to get me. I'm at fx@oneglance.com. Look for me there, and you could see some more analysis of what I do. Also, you could join our forum, free forum, and there's a lot of information there. All right, so until next time, guys, thank you. Appreciate you guys. God bless. So long.